Brother Loren, what do you got for us? And you can close it.
Sure. 1 Corinthians chapter 1, starting in verse 18. We talked many times about how you can share the gospel with someone and you don't think anything is happening. We don't know if something's happening or not. And the Holy Spirit could be working. The Holy Spirit could not be working, but the Holy Spirit could be working. But I think sometimes the tendency is to say, well, gospel makes sense to me. I understand, what the problem is. We have a sin problem. We needed to be reconciled to God. The only way to do that was through Jesus Christ. He was the perfect sacrifice. When we're born again, the Holy Spirit enters us, changes our life, and we have new life. We're a new creation, as we talked about earlier. That makes sense to the believer, but to the person that is in the flesh, the person that doesn't have the Spirit of God, it just seems to be like nonsense. Sometimes I think it can be frustrating to say, well, man, why don't they just get it? Well, so starting in verse 18, for the word of the cross is foolishness to those who are perishing, but to us who are being saved, it is the power of God. For it is written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise, and the cleverness of the clever I will set aside. Where is the wise man? Where is the scribe? Where is the debater of this age? Has not God made foolish the wisdom of the world? For since in the wisdom of God, the world through its wisdom did not come to know God. God was well pleased through the foolishness of the message preached to save those who believe. For indeed, Jews ask for signs and Greeks search for wisdom. But we preach Christ crucified. To Jews a stumbling block and to Gentiles foolishness. But to those who are the called, both Jews and Greeks, Christ the power of God and the wisdom of God. Because the foolishness of God is wiser than men, and the weakness of God is stronger than men. And I look at the part about to the Gentiles, looking for wisdom, or the Greeks search for wisdom. I think some Bibles might say the Gentiles search for wisdom, and it just kind of reminds me of today, where it's everything out there. This higher consciousness, that higher consciousness. You can get there this way and that way. It's always everything except Christ, but never Christ, never the message of the cross. So this passage just helps me. It brings me comfort, because then I can understand why the message isn't being received sometimes.
It's like trying to play chess with somebody that doesn't know how to play chess.
Right.
They're just lost and they have no idea what's going on.
Uh-oh.
I've been down that road where I was constantly spending time with somebody that didn't know the Lord and was making the wrong decisions, and I was trying to share the gospel with her all the time, and it just, I was getting frustrated, and eventually I said, okay, you know what, this is making me I'm getting tired of this, and I had to, okay.
Did you find there was more resistance to you trying to share the word? What was right? Did they resist that, or were they open to that?
They would resist it, and when I was able to share the word or share who Jesus is and what he would do in certain situations, or what he did in certain situations in the word, they would just say, oh, I know, and then they would just come back the next day giving me a whole nother story. And it just,
A lot of times we're just one of the seeds.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Will I leave every moment of every day. Will I will walk by faith, even when I cannot see.